Hey, peace world. I'm gonna jump right into it. It's the Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment show. My name is Wood. Before I get into Stephen A, like, what is going on with Rasheed Wallace? And I love Rasheed as a Pistons fan. And Rasheed might be one of the only jerseys that I would consider buying if I didn't really dislike the Pistons jerseys. But what's going on, Roscoe? I mean, LeBron and KD wouldn't be effective in his era? Seriously? So, anyway, and then the other thing that came out this week, you know, and it's a horrible time to mention it and questioning it, but Tom Brady is the #1 football player of all time over at The Athletic. I guess they put out a top 100 list of all-time 100, and Tom Brady came out as #1. Joe Montana was in the top 10. Jim Brown, I think, #2. Jerry Rice, maybe 3. Walter Payton, 4, maybe. Dick Butkus at 10. I don't know, man. I don't know. But Stephen A. Smith, first of all, I want to say something. I want to make one very clear statement. I'm not a Stephen A. Smith hater. I'm not really a Stephen A. Smith basher. The dude is walking, talking loud history. I mean, the brother has made history. No way to argue about that. Several years from now, it might be referred to as the age of Stephen A. Smith or the Stephen A. Smith era or something. I mean, he's left an indelible mark on this stuff. I mean, the man is a multi-millionaire for debating sports. I mean, I don't know what I can say. He won. He won. The only thing that I really don't like, that I don't care about or care for about Stephen A. Smith, but it's the one thing that he needed the most to do what he's done, and that's his ego. You gotta have an ego that's off-putting. You gotta have an ego that's off-putting to do what he's done. You gotta believe that your opinion is far and above and superior to anybody in the room, in the city, in the state. You got to. So he has everything that he needed to do to pull off what he's pulled off. Today, the brother moderated the moderator, and that's what he just does too much. But hey, it is what it is. But the one thing that I don't like about this situation with Max Kellerman, and again, there's people on YouTube and out here trying to make it like Stephen A. Smith stabbed him in the back, he fired him, he did this. Stephen A. Smith, man, when it comes to big time teams, big high profile positions, this is commonplace. Like, they shook up the team. But the one thing that I didn't like on the clip that I saw, you can find it on YouTube, with him and Ebro and what's Rosenberg and whatever that channel is or whatever. It's like a 22-minute clip. The one thing that rubbed me the wrong way is Stephen A. said he got to a point, a segment on there where he said First Take was on the brink of being canceled, and they came to him and invited him onto the show. Skip Bayless invited him onto the show, and he said in 30 days they became #1. Okay, so he said him and Skip Bayless was #1 for 4 years, and then he said, next sentence he said, then Skip left and we brought in Max Kellerman. Me and Max was #1. We've been #1 for 5 years. And in the very next sentence, all the hubris in the world, he says, so I've been #1 for 9 years. I've been #1 for 9 years. That rubbed me the wrong way. But that's some real boxing shit though. That's the same thing that gets done in boxing. Don't worry about my dance partner. It's all me. And I didn't really care for that. And that speaks to the fact that he didn't really have a lot of respect. If you hear the rest of the interview and some of the different comments and stories that are out there, it's burning over here. He didn't really have a lot of respect for Max Kellerman, although he said on the thing, I have profound respect for Max Kellerman's talent, his ability, and as a man and his character. He said all of that on there, but he was always disrespectful to Max. And I think one thing that I rocked with Max about was that Max was the total opposite, in that Max approached the whole situation like his opinion isn't the most important thing in the world. And definitely that his opinion on every topic is not the most, it can't be. And that's how Max came across to me, like, man, I'm only talking about this stuff because y'all asked me to. But he was just on there to play the game. And maybe that's why Stephen A wasn't so fond of him as a debate partner, because Max was probably on there. Like I said, Max was like, man, I just do this because it pays well. And and I'm on the #1 show in morning television or whatever. But Stephen A. Smith is probably the only dude that can sit there and get into that job the way that he does it. And I salute him for that, because you got to be crazy about what you're doing. But like I said, man, I never really cared for the way that he addressed Max. I think when Max spoke adequately, or even on the social issue stuff, the inequalities and all of that stuff, I thought Max addressed it adequately. And I thought a lot of times Stephen A. Smith go over the top with stuff. And that's his style. But yeah, to sit there and attribute all the show's success to himself, like how? But like I said, you gotta have an ego. You gotta have that size ego to do what he's done. A lot of us don't. We ain't built like that. But and then I keep going back. Somebody leave a comment, the 2 or 3 people that watch this. I keep going back to, man, who watches First Take? Who watches the show? I've been working from home for over a year and a half now. 40-something inch television on my wall in my little man cave. Over a year and a half, I probably watched First Take maybe 7 to 10 times. And not even the whole show. Just check out a portion of it and keep it moving. Who the hell? I just want to be in the room to understand the executive. I think his name is Dave Roberts or something. I know his last name is Roberts. I just want to know. But I mean, again, if it's the #1 show, you can't argue with that. If it's the #1 show for 5 years running or 9 years running, you can't argue with it. But I just don't know anybody who watches the damn show. I mean, can you be #1 by being on at the tire shop? Right. Exactly. I mean, is it on in a bunch of tire shops around the country, dentist offices, waiting areas? It's on in some gyms around it. I mean, who the hell watches the show? And I guess that's where I'm kind of at a loss with the whole thing, is because everybody can talk sports. It's Stephen A. talk about this thing. I saw him today. I saw a clip today. I did mention this a minute ago, but Omari Hardwick was on there, and you can't even talk with Stephen A. without it becoming a debate. And I don't know, for me, like, I'm really not even in a debate with everybody else. Like, you say your opinion, I'm gonna say my opinion. That's it. I don't even have to challenge you. I may or may not have agreed with you or whatever, but everybody got an opinion. So, but Stephen A. is like, as soon as we start talking, the clock starts. And that's just weird to me. And that's where we are as a society. You know, you say something, you leave a comment on a YouTube video or a song or something, and then someone come on and challenge what you said, and you weren't even making that kind of point. You might have just been like, hey, the beat to this is fire. And then someone come on, well, I hate his beats, and his beats are trash, and he don't even produce his own beats. And it's like, well, that's cool, but I mean, I wasn't even talking to you like that. I like the beat. That's the end story. But I don't know, man. Like I said, Stephen A is walking, talking loud history. I can't knock the man in any way. He has a job that everybody that watches sports would love to have. And the fact that Kellerman is off the show, it should be a relief for Max Kellerman. I wouldn't even want to sit across from that cat, to be honest with you. Matter of fact, I like somebody like because this is and I got to get ready to get off here, but this is what I don't understand, and what this is a turnoff for me with Stephen A. Smith. For you to sit on a show and talk about football with Marcus Spears and other individuals, Michael Irvin, when he ain't yelling and about to explode. But when you talk about these sports with the dudes who played the sports, who played the specific sport, and you want to sit here and argue with them about aspects of the game that you just don't know nothing about. When you sit next, Kellerman has, I missed it, man, and I'm about to get off. I apologize. I'll come back and check it out though. But when he sat there, when Top Rank Boxing first came to ESPN a few years ago, and he was involved in a studio show, and to sit there and question some of Teddy Atlas's points, a longtime trainer of several world champions, but when you want to sit there and try to pick apart the opinion of a Teddy Atlas, and then to sit there and try to talk stuff with Andre Ward, who retired undefeated, I think 33-0, three-weight division champion, Olympic gold medalist. When you want to sit here and talk with him about, like, your point can only carry so much weight when you're talking with individuals like that. And but again, you got to be that way to do what Stephen A has achieved. But for me, you just look like an idiot when you're doing something like that. Now, I'm not saying you can't sit here and talk football and you can't talk boxing with people who played the game. But I'm just saying there's certain aspects. Getting up from a knockdown and figuring out how to make it the next minute and a half of a round when you've been concussed or when you're seeing stars. Like, you can't sit here with that man and argue about he really wasn't hurt. I don't think he was really hurt. It's certain details about these sports that you have to defer to the person who actually did it. And Stephen A, he ain't deferring to nobody when it comes to moving his lips. So that's just a turnoff for me. Like I said, I really wouldn't waste my time talking with anybody with that type of that conducts themselves like that. It just wouldn't happen. But hey, like I said, the man has made history. What can we say? He won the game. But yeah, this stuff out here now, again, we sit out here as everyday folks and we watch what's going on with some of this stuff, and we have access to all of these different stories, and everybody is on all these platforms giving you the information on everything and the behind the scenes stuff that we didn't have, we weren't privy to 20 years ago, 15 years ago. People arrive at all kind of conclusions on everything. Again, the executives that went along with Stephen A's recommendation to change things up, I just want to know what information they looked at to believe that Stephen A was the one to go with, or let's listen to what he's saying and move on from Max Kellerman, because I really don't understand. I don't see what's entertainment in sitting around watching Stephen A give his half-ass sermons and his little presentation that he's falling into. I don't get it. But hey, he's got somebody's ear over there. The brother couldn't be the face of my network, but hey, you know, it is what it is. He also came out on that clip and he talked about, he repeated it a number of times, that he wants to be a late night talk show host. And again, this is it's a life lesson to us all. Like, you gotta speak this stuff into reality. You know, maybe you gotta believe on that level to go out here and set things in motion for you to go out here and achieve this stuff. He might be on to something. For me, him as a TV show host, easy hard pass. And I don't know if he would be talking about trying to deliver monologues with comedy and all of that. But again, Stephen A ain't gonna back down from nothing. He ain't gonna back down from nothing. He ain't gonna think he did nothing. He ain't programmed like that. So I don't know. But I want to know how he make it happen, man. That's the craziest thing in all the sports or sports talk for me. But let me get on off here so I can go in here and meet this person for somebody trying to get started in a podcast for some weird reason. I couldn't imagine trying to do this shit 6 and 7 years into a podcast, but and hell, it ain't even working for me. So I don't know what I'm just telling him how to get it going, and good luck with it. So anyway, thanks for rocking with me. Let me get on off of here. Enjoy your weekend, man. Peace.